Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing your hosts, Kids at Hart.
Wow. I feel like Goldberg coming out of the entrance right.
Hit your head in the door.
What is up, boys, girls, men, women? How are you doing today? I am Santa Claus, and this right next to me is my buddy. Merry Christmas, Anthony Lopez, and Happy Holidays. Love that song.
We're about to get demonetized, like we get monetized already.
Oh, because yes, I sound so much like I don't know. I probably sound like Joey Fatone out of all of them.
No, stop it. But yo, what's going on, Nick? Wrestle Real, baby. We're back at it again. We had a great show last week. We went live on a Tuesday. Something we can maybe hopefully do a lot more of in the new year. But today, pre-tape on Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Yes, put on my onesie for this.
You put on your onesie. I put on my Christmas sweater from last week's episode because we were talking. So like Johnny got this for me last year for Christmas, and like I literally now wear it everywhere. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna either wear it. Okay, in the context of recording this show, tomorrow on Christmas Eve or on Christmas at work, because I have to work both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, unfortunately.
Gosh darn it! But you have WatCon off.
I do.
WatCon.
My friend Marlo, who's not listening to this, I'm sure. I don't think she's a big fan of wrestling, but I told her, I jokingly said, if you sign up for Christmas on Register, I will sign up with you. And she looked at me and went, "Where's a pen?" And then signed her name.
Oh, man.
And then I signed my name following it. But hey, I mean, listen. The way that I see it, it's the same thing with Thanksgiving, is that, like, you know, not that Christmas or Thanksgiving has to feel like any other day, but it's different this year. You know, I don't mind working because I get paid time and a half for 5 hours of work. So I see what you're doing, work. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't dox my work on this channel. But, like, I see what you're doing there. 5 hours for a regular 8-hour shift. I mean, come on. You're not paying me any more than you would.
Look, but although the holidays are technically today, as of this upload, and we've been feeling the holidays, especially with work and with life, you know, the one bright spot that we have that'll never let us down, right, Nick, is professional wrestling.
Ain't that the freaking truth?
Look, and I know our first count, we're gonna
out in professional wrestling. Sorry.
And literally, I think our first 2 counts have been disappointing in some way, shape, or form, and more so the first one than the second one. Yeah. But I think that wrestling is a bright spot to me. As dumb, as frustrating as wrestling can be sometimes, I will always go back and watch the product. And I know after they're out here doing Christmas street fights on Raw and Friday night SmackDown on Christmas, which is probably pre-taped. I hope so.
It is. I know the results of the entire show.
Oh, you really?
It was like, I know I'm not going to be watching this, so I read it. it.
I'm gonna have to ask you after the show because I have no idea what's going on.
If you want.
But we're here to talk about some pro wrestling, and I mean, we always start off with, if we watched any wrestling this week, but have we?
No. Quite frankly.
I watched a little bit of the pay-per-view from this past Sunday that we will not review.
We had a pay-per-view and neither of us watched it.
I watched a little bit.
I've seen enough to know what's going on this week. I just haven't really had a lot of, not drive, but time to watch. I kind of have gotten off of my my network kick, but I have a week off, so I'm sure I'll have to do something, and I'll come back next week with Capital Punishment 2, which doesn't exist, the review, or a fantasy.
Not yet.
Oh Jesus! I really hope not, because like that would just be too much of a mess. Fobama still bothers me to this day.
Just wait till Joe Biden's in office and they can do
fake Joe Biden.
They can do faux Biden.
Oh.
Yo. So oh my God! But
you want to talk about what else is freaking stupid? Let me start off by saying this. Give me my damn soapbox. No, wait, hold on. I can't even operate technology properly right now. Nope.
What?
Other guy. Where's the other guy? He's here. Nope, I can't even get control of this. Forget it. That's not even an editing break. We're leaving this in the show.
We're leaving it in.
I ran. Why? What the hell was with Money in the Bank this year?
Oh.
You give it to freaking Otis. You have him lose it, which thank God you did, and you give me a Miz Stan, the Miz Mark, a Miz Mark,
Miz Marquee,
Miz Marquee, the opportunity to see my boy, a guy who grew up in the freaking city that my dad grew up in, win the WWE Championship, and you waste it. You freaking waste it by having him hop in during a match. It wasn't even a Miz way of cashing in friggin' Money in the Bank. And I understand that Morrison cashed it in, and maybe we could have some redux on that later on. I don't know. But please. So today we're going to be talking about, I'm just going to calm down here for a second. Today we're going to be talking about failed Money in the Bank cash-ins, because there's been plenty of them that have pissed me off beyond belief. Sorry.
Give me a fucking mic!
Is that what you're looking for?
I wasn't even thinking about playing that. I was just like, no, I was trying to give myself the screen, and I don't know.
If you wanted the spotlight, all you had to do was say something. Yeah, because I mean, you were.
Oh, this is the button. They needed to see your gorgeous face, something to look at. I was bitching about the Miz.
No, dude,
man, listen. You know, they have muffed the freaking Money in the Bank, in my opinion, for the past few years, having Brock win it. I mean, sure, we got the boombox thing, and that was kind of fun. It was fun.
That one meme was worth it.
And the segments, the Money in the Bank segment where Paul Heyman is like, Brock's like, you may not have a year to cash in the Money in the Bank. The issue with it is it's just like Goldberg fucking walking up the damn ladder and taking the briefcase for himself. Which, by the way, he's going to be challenging Roman Reigns probably coming up soon. Yay.
I mean, first of all, you dropped the first F-bomb of Wrestle Real, and it wasn't me. Wow. You were angry. You were that. That's how I know you're upset. You dropped an F-bomb before I did.
You have Miz, in my opinion, Miz's mid-card work has earned him the shot that he had. That, you know, I worry that Miz is never going to be considered for the WWE Championship ever again, beyond this like feud that he's in right now. Like, you know, once this ends, who knows if he'll ever win his opportunity. They're not going to book him to win his way to the championship. And I mean that as the biggest Miz fan in the world, as a person who wants him to win it and hold it, and even if it's just for a little while, give my man that second championship that he earned. It's just like, I don't know. I don't get it. Otis was never going to win the WWE Championship. Because if he did, then I'd be having the opposite reaction right now. I'd be like, you let that man win the fucking championship? Instead of going, you didn't let him win the championship. I'd be like, full disclosure, I was watching a Botchamania, or maybe just a video online. I don't remember which one it was. And it's so mean to Otis. Poor Otis. It's a body shaming thing. But it was the freaking announcers who did it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's WWE commentary, dude.
Buddy Murphy versus Otis. or Seth Rollins versus Otis. Was one of the two. And Buddy Murphy is staring at Otis. And either Corey Graves or Michael Cole goes, it's like Buddy Murphy is looking at a funhouse mirror. And
oh my God.
It's so stupid, but it's so funny.
Oh my God.
Terrible. But
that's
funhouse
awful.
mirror Buddy Murphy was never going to win the WWE Championship. Ever. So you give, but that's the thing that I have with this failed cash-in. And we're going to get into the failed cash-ins in a minute. And maybe I'll let you talk. But it's like, my thing with it is, I feel like from the beginning, this Money in the Bank was doomed to fail. Because you give it to a guy who shouldn't be WWE champion by any standards. Otis was having the run of his career. But Otis is not a guy who's going to become WWE champion in the way that that Daniel Bryan was. They could book Daniel Bryan to be like, oh, you're never going to be WWE champion. Daniel Bryan was going to win the WWE championship. He wasn't a guy who does the worm and goes, oh yeah, in the middle of the ring. Like, he wasn't a bushwhacker. I mean, like, that's the way I see it. All props to Otis for having the run of his career, though. I mean, like,
yes,
a guy like that could be superstar of the year just because he shouldn't have been in the spot that he was, and he was over as hell. Miz, you give the briefcase to a guy that I believe could win it. And then you don't have him cash it in. And man, it bothers the hell out of me because I used to be so excited for Money in the Bank. And next year, I don't know if I'm going to be excited for it.
I want to focus on 3 points that you've mentioned. In regards to this one failed cash-in, we will talk about the other 4. Otis was the winner of the Money in the Bank in 2019, and that is where this was doomed to fail. At that point. Oh yeah! Like the second first of all, he didn't even win it. The briefcase fell into his arms because Vince's like, oh, that's good shit, brother. Like that's he turned into, again, all my impersonations turned into Hulk Hogan at some point. Oh, but they thought it was funny and they liked Otis. So okay, like I hated how that Money in the Bank match ended. That would have been my favorite match of the year.
Yeah,
it would have been if AJ had won, if Daniel had won, if anybody else had won, even Aleister Black, who died. We haven't seen him since. And it's what it feels like. We haven't seen my man since June, and he's been either A, not on TV, or B, doing nothing since June, which is so sad because he died. But Rey Mysterio, he's out here bringing his kids in, and Buddy Murphy's macking on his daughter. But we're not here to talk about that.
And he died too. So
yeah, Rey Mysterio did, and he came back the next day. But that's where this was doomed to fail from the jump. You gave it to Otis because who were your champs at the time? Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. What? On what earth? What timeline? What dimension does Otis beat either one of them, realistically? Or Otis beats one of them in like the old-fashioned screwy, wait till the end of the match and they're all beat up and shit and you cash in, without burying the champion or the former champion, without making them look bad in the process. And in what way does Otis beat Braun Strowman clean in the rematch? Or beating Drew McIntyre, who was white hot over the summer. White hot. He still is white hot. But even more so in the summer. Like, he was on crack. And bang. You're going to have Otis try to beat Drew McIntyre? And that's when WWE was like, damn, like we really messed up. We thought it was cool. The fans aren't too receptive to this because they're not here. And let's see how this Miz thing goes. And it goes on for way too goddamn long. And then they give the thing to the Miz. Okay. Giving it to the Miz is a better idea. But still, you're booking the Miz to lose handicap matches with John Morrison to one guy, whether it's Drew McIntyre or whoever the hell, right? Or Keith Lee, whoever it is. But either way, you're not making the Miz look like a good wrestler. There's a difference between being a good wrestler and a good character. The Miz is a great character. John Morrison's a great character and a great wrestler. So is the Miz a great wrestler. But if they're losing every week, it's not going to make your champ or your Money in the Bank holder look good.
No, it's not.
So putting the thing back on the Miz is a good idea. So I want to emphasize the second point, which is the Miz. Mm-hmm. If you are going to have the Miz cash in on Drew McIntyre, right? We saw it at TLC, happened mid-match. You tried to recapture that magic that Seth Rollins had from WrestleMania 30 and failed tremendously. Not only because fans weren't there, but you didn't have the Miz go over. But I digress. You have the Miz hold that mother trucker until the day after WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre retains against Redacted, and he has this whole thing. You can have one big Scottish ass celebration, have him do the sword thing. You can have him like stab somebody with the sword. I don't care, But you have the Miz cash in on Drew McIntyre that night. Hopefully fans are there. Big pop. Miz is your champ going into your next pay-per-view. And you have time to slowly build the Miz up, and everything's golden. But you do it at TLC, which is a great show. Like, I heard it was a really great show. I didn't watch all of it, but I heard it was a great show. And I do plan on watching TLC because there's some great matches apparently.
Charlotte came back.
Ooh. I heard Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns had a classic, even though that word is thrown around way too much in wrestling. Which leads me to my third point. You mentioned that Otis, they tried to build Otis like Daniel Bryan. And I think you cannot have been any more correct. Like, they wanted to recapture that same magic, but it wasn't the same. It was a different kind of underdog type of story.
Yeah, because he's just not that guy.
Bryan has been beloved for a decade plus before he went to WWE, right, and did the NXT gimmick, and before the whole Yes movement came around. Mm-hmm. Otis doesn't have the power to do a Yes movement type of thing. If he does, we haven't seen it yet. So why are you trying to... What I'm trying to say is WWE, this is not my high spot, I promise. But what on God's green earth are you trying to recapture old magic? Stop. WWE is the king of doing that. Harping on old things that worked really well and doing them again later with different people.
Yep.
Stop it. You did it with The Miz and the whole Seth Rollins thing, mid-match, climb the ladder, and no. Otis with Daniel Bryan, and now Otis ain't even on TV. Otis ain't even doing anything. Otis got sent back to the PC to be a better wrestler.
Yeah, but so did Keith Lee, so that's sus.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. And honestly, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But because I will get upset. But this whole thing with Otis and The Miz has been a train wreck. But this was just one of 5 different train wrecks. Every failed cash-in has been a train wreck in some way, shape, or form. Like not a car accident. It's a train wreck. Multiple cars off the tracks because you want to either A, elevate someone else who's involved, or B, you delegitimize it by doing something stupid, a la having them announce it a week prior to give your opponent time to prepare.
Okay, so yeah, well, let's knock out John Cena and Braun Strowman early. Because those two are the weakest, but they're also the stupidest. Because it's like, why would you don't give your opponent an opportunity to like know when you're going to cash it in, because that defeats the purpose of
Damian Sandow did the same thing.
Yeah, but
to an extent.
Then John
if
Cena,
I'm not mistaken, he did the same exact thing.
Did John Cena distract him or no?
That was Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Which, let's talk about the fact that John Cena beat Tyler. No, what's his name? I was about to call him Tyler Rex, but that's not his name in the indie circuit. Damian Sandow. But
word.
Aaron Stevens. That's what.
Aaron Stevens. Yeah, that's
Aaron. I think it was John Cena beat Aaron Stevens. He distracted Baron Corbin, and he lost his own match. So he was involved with 3 of these 5. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Braun Strowman one, he told Roman a week ahead of time. He did it at Hell in a Cell, lost. Baron Corbin, had a match. I believe it was against was it Jinder Mahal?
Yes.
And Cena got involved. Corbin lost. Damian Sandow told John Cena ahead of time. Cena beat him because LOL Cena wins. And Cena told, I believe it was Alberto Del Rio for Raw 1000.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna look it up real fast.
Why are we bringing him up again?
I know this is the second straight week we're talking about Alberto Del Rio. Ain't that some shit?
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. John Cena winning Money in the Bank was just to add another career acolyte to him. But like, it
was on CM Punk. I apologize.
Oh well, we're
fine. But the Big Show interfered.
The Big Slow interfered.
No.
And then he probably turned heel, and then he cried, and he probably turned face. So, isn't that nice?
God, why? What's the gimmick of, like, from a logistical standpoint, before Cena, because I believe Cena was the first one to take a dump during a Money in the Bank cash-in. He was the first one to do it. So why tell your opponent a week in advance?
It's silly.
I get it. It's Raw 1000, brother. Like, I get it. But no. Every other one before that was all of a sudden, it was, and your winner, Alberto Del Rio. That's where I got it from, because I was thinking of Ziggler. And then Ziggler's like, I'm here to show the world. And it's like, ah! And everyone loses their goddamn mind.
Creates a moment.
Create a moment, bro. Imagine, so that CM Punk wrestled at Raw 1000. He beats, who's good on the card? Cesaro. Him and Cesaro have a barn burner of a match. And then CM Punk's all like, I won. And then you hear, do. Like, that would be insane.
Yeah. But here's why it works with John Cena. Because a moment like that, it just depends on who's the champion. Because CM Punk beats Cesaro in what's considered probably a barn burner of a match, and then John Cena cashes in on him. Do you think that's going to get a good reaction?
I mean, Cena's not going to get a good reaction regardless, especially at that time.
But I don't know.
Cena had to cash in on like Goldberg now for him to get a pop.
I would love that.
I mean, so would I.
No, I don't think that. I think Roman beats him, but like,
yes, as he should.
So just,
I don't, until something's confirmed, we will not talk about that man and getting another Universal title match on this show. We will not. No, it pissed me off. That's the ultimate like pissed off Chris show. We talk Keith Lee going to the PC to be a better wrestler. Goldberg v Roman Reigns for the Blue Universal Championship, and then the third count can be like, I don't know. We can talk about like CM Punk talking about wrestling again. Like just Chris getting upset, for 3 straight counts. But so Cena lost to Punk. Freaking Sandow lost to Cena. Corbin lost to Mahal. Technically, but Cena was involved. Strowman lost to Roman, Hell in the Cell. And Miz lost to McIntyre and Styles, technically.
It's just...
but the trend of telling people ahead of time is stupid. I don't like it, which I'm glad that they didn't do it with The Miz, even though with the character of The Miz, that would not make any sense.
No, it wouldn't.
But it didn't make any sense for him to jump into the match when he should have. Why not wait until the match is over? Drew McIntyre is beaten to hell because it's a TLC match, and then you cash in. That's when you bring your friend, you bring John Morrison. It's like a little clock him with the briefcase, give the ref the freaking briefcase, and then you do the match, skull crushing finale, ding ding ding, and your winner. But no, it's too easy. And plus, I get it. It's Drew McIntyre. That man ain't losing that belt anytime soon.
No.
But come on. Come on. We're better than that. And there's no way Miz going to SmackDown. Roman Reigns is killing everyone in this path. He's murdering people every week on SmackDown. And I'm just
going to keep continuing.
Yeah,
hopefully, he retires Oldberg again.
And like tonight on SmackDown, he's going to face Kevin Owens in a steel cage match. Rip. Did you see that table spot when Roman speared Kevin Owens to that table and the table literally took a shit?
Yep.
I think that's when I realized, like, yo, Am I in love with Roman Reigns?
Oh, dude, I was talking to a guy at work. I'm like, I take back anything bad I've ever said about Roman Reigns. I do.
I can't agree with that.
It.
I need Roman to like, oh my god, because I can't get over like the suffering succotash thing.
I watched that on the network unintentionally, and I was like, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? And it happened. I was like, oh, it happened.
Oh no, but no, right?
He's seeing a suffering succotash. I'm like, oh Jesus.
Someone told him that was good, or someone said like Vince like this is good shit, you know. But no, the Money in the Bank stuff. They easily could have waited on The Miz, but they chose not to. I get it. Your two top champs are literal murderers, so I don't want to I don't want to think about The Miz trying to hold his own with Drew McIntyre fresh.
Yeah, it's
especially how they've been booking The Miz lately. I can talk about these damn matches forever, but just to sum it up, so we can talk about something fun now. Telling your opponent a week in advance is dumb. It's a dumb idea. Why would you do it?
Yeah, that's the truth.
All the big Money in the Bank pops have been spontaneous. That's the gimmick of the briefcase. And The Miz did half of that, but they didn't put the belt on him. Freaking the top champ, the top dog is really gonna it's gonna tip the scale in a certain way. Right now, it's the worst time to be a number one contender or Money in the Bank holder for any reason on any show, whether it's McIntyre, whether it's Roman Reigns, shit, even on NXT with Finn Balor, you know, it's gonna be hard. Which I would have loved to see Miz go to NXT and beat Finn Balor.
That would have been
like after that match with Kyle O'Reilly, he's gonna have on New Year's. And then he cashes in.
He's gonna die.
Yeah, they're gonna kill each other, and I can't wait to watch it. But Money in the Bank, it's been frustrating the last few years. It's been pretty frustrating, even when people properly win it. Like, when's the last time you got excited for Money in the Bank? When's the last time you got really excited? And not it's just Brock trolling people every week. You know,
who won it? Oh God. I mean, I was excited when Seth won, but I don't know.
I've been more jazzed with the women's Money in the Bank ones.
Yeah,
like
I mean, even like this past year, it was like Asuka won kind of by default.
Yeah, because Becky had to go. Yeah. So this upcoming year is going to be interesting. They have a lot of new faces, a lot of fresher faces. I wonder how they'll do it, but that's in June. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. The landscape of WWE can change within the month. The Rumble's next month, so that could change in a heartbeat. How storylines are going to plan out, so we'll see. But Money in the Bank can be so damn cool or so damn lame at the same time. There's a little middle ground. Where it's like, oh, that was alright, you know. But it's either really cool or really lame. But you want to talk about something fun?
I do, but I have to say, you're gonna hear it right now on Wrestle Reel.
Oh,
I've locked in my Rumble pick. I know we're gonna get into it.
Oh man, already?
Keith Lee.
Oh, that's a good one.
We'll get into it later on because I was texting Mr. Anthony Lopez here a couple of days ago, going, "Hey, is the Rumble in June or January?" And then he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was confused there for a second, because it feels like freaking Drew won it like last week. But it's COVID. But all right, we're moving on to number 2.
Yep. Yo, so Nick had this great idea to talk about a certain wrestler who was legitimately lit on fire on a WWE pay-per-view. The Fiend, first of all, lost to Randy Orton in a Firefly Inferno match. But the Fiend got up. He was a man on fire, and he put Randy Orton in the mandible claw.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. It was a gorgeous visual. And I was in awe. I'm like, yo, this rules. Like, this is wrestling to me. This is wrestling. Like, I was popping, bro. I'm like, this is hard. That was the only way for me to be cool with the Fiend loss is if you still put the Fiend over at the end. But now
catch him on fire. You're like, I don't care if he won or not. But if he's on fire, that's the only reason why I'm okay if he won.
And it wasn't the wrestling like, oh, my arm's on fire. This man was engulfed in flames. Like we need to really
only freaking Bray Wyatt would do that.
Yeah, like, oh my God, this man was engulfed in fire. But the kicker was, because he was lit aflame or lit ablaze, he wasn't on Raw this past week.
Yep.
And he's not. It seems like he's not going to be there for a little bit. At least that's what that was implied by Alexa Bliss. By the way, Alexa Bliss doing some of the best work of her career with the Fiend. But Nick, you raised the question to me, but I'm gonna raise the question to you. What's next for the Fiend, bro?
Yeah, this was something that I wanted to talk about because, like, as you know here, as everybody can tell week by week by week, the Fiend is my favorite thing in wrestling right now. I love Bray Wyatt is my favorite thing in wrestling. It's not the Fiend. It's Bray freaking Wyatt. It's the fact that we're getting some of the most interesting and compelling storylines and stuff like that from a guy who's the host of a damn kids show.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of the kids show. I love everything about Bray Wyatt. So WWE, I'm going to make this quick and to the point. Don't change Bray Wyatt now that you set him on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I get that we were talking about this a little bit before the show. You said that they probably are going to change the costume.
They might change the attire, yes, but not the mask.
Fine. Don't change the mask. Don't change. Just don't change anything about my boy. Just don't. It's just like, I think everything is working so freaking well. Did you just drop Mia?
I bumped the shelf and Mia fell.
Okay, no. I'm glad that I guessed that right. Where's what's his name at?
I have a funny story about why I only have Mia. It's not really funny. It's a little story. I can tell it here. When I went to New York before the pandemic started, I went to Toy Tokyo, the store, and I was really excited to be there. And everything was either A, too expensive, or B, too big for my carry-on, so I couldn't really get too much. But I saw this loose Mia, and I got her. Sorry. It was just Mia though, not Sebastian, which really bummed me out. Yeah. But now, if anyone just has a Sebastian, I'll take it. Like I'll
dance together.
Yeah, I know. It's one of my favorite movies of the past decade, and I can't like have Sebastian. But we stray off topic. The Fiend.
Don't change the Fiend. So now I will let you talk. That's all I have to say about this. It's like, what's next for the Fiend? It's like, I'm hoping it's not a huge difference in character and stuff like that, because I think that the Fiend is doing the best work. If you need to make him look like Kane and be a burn victim and stuff like that, then that's interesting, I guess. But it's like the Fiend's, it's not like anything was singeing on the Fiend. Like if you look at this picture right here, he's just a man on fire.
That's one hell of a visual.
It's like, and I chose the shittiest picture of it, but it's like he's just a man on fire. Don't change the Fiend. Because the Fiend is incredible. Give the Fiend the championship. I'm sorry, I love Drew, but give the Fiend the championship.
Okay. So the Fiend has been on a roller coaster the last year and a half, right? Or about a year. About a year. A little over a year. Since Hell in a Cell. Since Hell in a Cell was redacted. Like I think it's really hard to mess up the Fiend. It's really, really hard because not only A, is he cool AF, B, had a kick-ass debut, C, is a kick-ass character, D, is one of the more entertaining things on Raw every single week, whether it's Bray Wyatt or the Fiend. Where was I at? D, E, even in a loss, the Fiend looks kick-ass. Even in a loss. And I know that's how you get the Fiend to lose. You engulf him in fire. And Randy Orton, he is super freaking mega heel right now. So I totally get why my man needs to go over at some point. But the Fiend, when he comes back, at least from Chris Anthony Lopez here at Wrestle Reel, he should come back, do the Firefly Funhouse. You don't see the Fiend for a bit. Not that the Fiend's scared, but he's not as willing to come out as he was.
Yeah,
as he used to be. So it's just Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. So you do that for a couple weeks, maybe have Bray get in the ring once or twice, but nothing too crazy. Then the Rumble happens. Randy's in the ring, like waiting for an RKO somebody, and then you're like, catching flies, and it's the Fiend makes his appearance in the Royal Rumble, and I don't know if you somehow do like a double elimination spot. You had the Fiend maybe not even give a shit about the Rumble. Maybe he's not even an entrant. He just screws over Randy Orton, you know?
Yeah.
But you make the Fiend just go after Orton the way he went after Cena. And that's... I want to see the Burn in My Light parody that Bray Wyatt's going to do. I want to see him bring in Ric Flair to do some crazy shit in the Firefly Funhouse. You know what I mean? Batista maybe.
You think Orton is going to be the next Firefly Funhouse match?
It should be, but maybe not right off Orton like the way you did Cena. Because Cena, as far as we know, like my man's like in the abyss. You know,
he's in another dimension somewhere.
Yeah, he's stuck. He's in the upside down. He's in the sunken place. But Randy Orton should be something like that. I'm not saying take this to WrestleMania. You should not. Because we're still going to get Edge Orton probably at WrestleMania to get that proper culmination of what they were doing over the beginning of the year. But let's get crazy with this. And let's bring in Bob. What's Bob Orton doing? What's Cowboy Bob doing? I know we're in a pandemic, so you can only do so much. But like, let's like, come on now. We can get Cowboy Bob in this. Like I think we can get crazy with Randy. We really can. And we haven't gotten crazy yet. A storied career like Randy Orton, and you're not going to touch it?
Yeah.
Come on. And I think that's what the Fiend's going to do next. At least what he should do next, because the last couple weeks have been weird, but at the same time, the Fiend has not lost any momentum. If anything, he's going to garner even more by being away.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. I was about to like talk, and I was like, ha! I like the way that you think about that, because I think that a Firefly, I think we need more of those Firefly Funhouse matches, but don't always have to write them off TV. Just, give me those interesting career retrospective matches that Bray Wyatt puts on. I just like the idea of Firefly matches in general. I mean, the Firefly Inferno match was a new take on the Inferno match. The Firefly Funhouse match was a new take on whatever the hell a Firefly Funhouse match is. So it's just like a Firefly Funhouse match was a new take on video packages. So I just really, really like the idea of a new Firefly Funhouse match, and why not it be with Randy Orton? If Edge is not ready to go, give me Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in a Firefly Funhouse match. Give Bray his WrestleMania thing, like the Undertaker had his streak. Bray has the Firefly Funhouse match
every year. WrestleMania, yeah. It's not always a pre-tape though. Some stuff has to be pre-shot. Of course, some stuff has to, but not everything.
I think it all does.
Oh,
those matches don't work. Well, they could find a way, I'm sure, to do it. But those matches work being pre-taped. You have a lot of costume changes and stuff like that. You got to squeeze John into those pink tights again. So it's just like, I mean, like, it's. I mean, the dude's Jack. That's the reason why I was saying that. It wasn't a.
No, like that's what I figured.
It's like, give me like blue, longer haired Randy Orton. I mean, like
I need the tips. Tips.
Give me blue short Randy Orton. I want to see the Fiend as Triple H doing this.
Oh my god!
Like, I want to see Blue Tista back. I don't know. I
You
just
can get Batista to
no
do
Blue Tista.
Blue
The
Tista.
second Evolution run, Blue Tista.
Evolution. One day we're gonna talk about that second Evolution run on this show.
We should, because I watched a video of the crowd when they came out for the first time. It was the worst crowd ever.
Like as in they didn't care, as if they laid it into them.
They did not care.
Oh.
It was silence.
They were probably in like Wichita or some bum. I shouldn't say bum. No offense to Wichita.
Damn.
But probably if it was like Chicago or New York, they would have marked the F out. I would have for Evolution, even the second run of Evolution, sans Ric Flair. But no, the Fiend. I think the Fiend's gonna be fine. The Fiend needs to close out this Randy Orton stuff. If they do take it to Mania, then fine. Do a pre-tape because odds are fans will not be there as much as we would like them to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm cool with more pre-tapes. But let's not. I don't like the idea of making them a yearly thing and they're always a pre-tape. You can find a way to do both, to get crazy with it and to still appease the masses and actually have Bray Wyatt wrestle because he's a good wrestler. So I want to see Bray wrestle Randy Orton, John Cena, or these people with these longer story character changes, long careers. So yeah, I can rock with a Firefly Funhouse match every year. Maybe not WrestleMania even. Like we can just throw it somewhere throughout the year. Not too close though. But that Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena was one of my favorite matches, if not my favorite match of the year. And honestly, Nick, I don't even know if WWE would consider it a match of the year, but to them, we know it is. Amongst so many other things, who the best superstar is, who the best trash talker is, but they announced their Slammys. And not to steal the quote of one of our more beloved wrestling YouTubers, but I think we can do it better. The Slammys came out this week. They did the show, and it was cute. It was fun. It was obviously it was in front of a crowd like how they usually is. It wasn't on a Raw, but it was a bunch of pre-tape stuff and with people giving Slammys. By the way, WWE, is it too hard to engrave these Slammys? Like genuinely? Yeah. Is that too hard? I'm curious. But Nick, I had this idea where we can go category by category. I can read off who won, but maybe we don't even have to go by their nominees either. What if we have to pick our own winner?
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down.
Now, some of these are kind of dumb, if I say so myself. Shout out to Celebrity Appearance of the Year, Rob Gronkowski,
yes.
The current Tampa Bay Buccaneer tight end, because when Tom Brady calls, you answer.
That's right.
WWE Network Documentary of the Year, because how is it not The Last Ride? Come
Keith
on
Lee
now.
comes in a close second.
Keith Lee comes in a close second.
No, the Liv Morgan series, I think, is second.
I haven't seen it yet.
I've heard very good things.
Word. I'm gonna have to get on that. Musical Performance of the Year, Elias, because
he's gonna win it every single year.
Exactly. Most Creative 24/7 pin.
R-Truth.
It went to Drew Gulak, and they also, this isn't really dumb, but it's actually kind of cool they did this. They did a referee of the year, and it was Lil Nate, Charles Robinson.
That's right.
That was Lil Nate. It's Lil Nate.
It was Lil Nate, yeah.
So yeah, that's actually pretty dope. They give the officials something to do on the shows that just isn't officiating. But let's start with one of the ones that didn't have a real nominee list, and that's a Trash Talker of the Year, men and women's. The winners of these, I'll say the winners of these ahead of time. Lacey Evans won for the women, and the Hurt Business won for the men. Trash Talkers of the Year.
I think that the New Day are pretty damn good trash talkers, even if they are faces.
Yeah.
And Bayley was the Woman of the Year.
1,000%.
How did they give it to Lacey Evans? Like that is like we don't want Bayley to win all the women's ones, which she didn't, and I'm sorry. I know that you love your Sasha Banks, but we'll get into that.
I do. Bayley did win Social Media Superstar of the Year.
Why? Again? Do they again want to give one to her? So they're like, "Yeah, here's the Social Media Star of the Year."
Bayley totally should have won this one for the women, 1,000%.
Yeah,
in a real world,
she's like, I didn't even think that friggin' I didn't even know Lacey Evans even spoke this year.
Oh God, she said some stuff.
I mean, I know her gimmick is that she's like better than you and not flapper girl, like you know what I mean, like 20s. Her weird old fashioned. She kicks ass. I like Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans is dope.
They need to book her a little bit better, but like again,
do.
like I feel like Asuka tracked more trash than Lacey Evans this year.
Yeah.
But like Bayley is like the number one. You can't go wrong with Bayley. Like Bayley literally was like, Bayley was like heel of the year.
Bayley would be mine. Bayley's so entertaining. Sasha, if we're sticking for the women, Sasha's close. Becky was only around for the first 3 months, but I guarantee I don't remember her promos, but she'd be up here too. Yeah. Charlotte, whether you like Charlotte or not, and if you don't like Charlotte, come on now, get with the program. She's that good. I sucked up. Like I wasn't a Charlotte stan. Now I am. I've come a whole 180 on Charlotte, 1,000% over the last couple of years. But this is Bayley's award to lose in a real world. Mm-hmm. It's Bayley's. And for the men, I know they try to stick to heels, but like you said, the New Day, man.
It was just their Survivor Series match that they like had all this shit to talk against the Street Profits, but it's like I thought that they I don't know. It's like this is a weird award to even book because it's like I don't know.
Maybe it's just to acknowledge the Hurt Business, you know. They had a great weekend.
Miz had a great year of trash.
Oh, Miz and Morrison, dude.
Yeah, it's like
that's I look. You might give
a great year of trash talking. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yeah, I low-key would probably give it to Miz and Morrison. Not to, yeah. To me, it should have been, or it was Lacey Evans in the Hurt Business, but to me, it was Bayley and Miz and Morrison. 1,000%. Mm-hmm. I stand by that.
And most creative 24/7 championship pin, I don't care.
Oh, I mean,
I'll give it to Tucker. I don't know. Tucker Godwin won the 24/7 championships.
So Tucker Godwin.
I'll give it to my boy.
That was the one I want to touch on that didn't have nominees, but all the other ones from this point forward will.
Yes.
Whether we go off
the nominees.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah,
if we have a different one, then we can go with it.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's start with. We'll just go from bottom to top. Return or moment of the year.
Yes.
Moment of the year.
I know which one you're picking based off of that because I'm picking the same exact thing because.
Let me the nominees. The New Day get drafted to different brands. Raw, October 12th, 2020. Bayley betrays Sasha Banks, SmackDown, September 4th, 2020. Paul Heyman alliance with Roman Reigns, August 28th. What a great birthday gift to me. It was pretty kick-ass.
What a great birthday gift to me. Sorry.
Yeah, see, hell yeah, brother. October 16th, SmackDown, the New Day's farewell address. New Day nominated twice within 4 days of each other. I'm going to skip over that one because that was the winner. Becky Lynch announces her pregnancy, Raw, May 11th, 2020. It was a great moment, 1,000%. It was actually pretty wholesome and cute coming from the man. Oh! And she should be due soon, right? Oh, no, they had her baby. They had their baby.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Good on them. That's awesome. Drew McIntyre beats Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Great moment.
Good moment, yeah.
Because the Reign of Terror would temporarily end until Brock comes back. Undertaker's final farewell, Survivor Series 2020. And then to me, how can you not? I know it's Undertaker, but Edge returns at Men's Royal Rumble 2020.
It's not that I felt like Undertaker's moment wasn't that special, but
it was incredible.
It would have felt a lot better with the fans there. And the thing is that the fans got to experience one last hurrah before all this crazy world shit happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to see Edge. It was rumored in the dirt sheets. Don't get me wrong.
I wasn't expecting it.
No freaking person in the world was expecting that. And the moment that it happens, the entire crowd lights the frick up. It was the moment of the year.
They were in Houston, right, at Minute Maid, and they had so many people there. And there are those videos of people like, "Oh, 3, 2, 1," and they hear, "You think you know me," and people are jaws drop.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that. I popped so hard.
I went freaking crazy.
I'm not, and I said on the show, I wasn't an Edge mark. I wasn't in hindsight, I would love Edge now. If I was watching wrestling, 23-year-old Chris Anthony Lopez was watching wrestling in 2007, Edge would be the bomb. Edge would probably be my fave because I loved Edge in hindsight. I love watching his stuff. But I hated that man in 2009 because he was that good. But when he came back, bro, after years, 9 years, I believe.
9 long years.
He came back, did a Daniel Bryan, just significantly longer, and he wrestled. He had a damn good showing. Damn near won the thing. And then he did the stuff with Orton, which is, to me, I don't care what people think about the greatest match ever. That feud was awesome. It ruled. Randy Orton almost had to kill Edge on Raw the next day. And then we're like, but it's Edge, dude. I don't know how you don't give it to Edge. I know it's Undertaker. But at the same time, it's Edge, bro.
Can we go out of the way and knock out another one here and just say Return of the Year was Edge as well?
Yes, I mean, and Return of the Year, the nominees were Sami Zayn, Goldberg, MVP, Roman Reigns, and Edge actually won that.
Yes, and Roman Reigns has a close second, in my opinion.
Roman Reigns is a close second.
It was incredible. But yes, I mean, I'm not trying to rush this along, but I mean,
no, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Clearly won that one as well.
100%. Just so we can knock out this other little tiny one. I probably should have done it before Moment of the Year, but a little bit of a buffer. The P break of the big ones with nominees. Ring Gear of the Year.
Was it the New Day's Metal?
It was the New Day's Gears of War stuff.
I almost said Metal Gear. Gears of War, yeah, that one, those kicked ass.
That ruled.
Bianca Belair, I would say, probably was the second because she makes her own ring gear. And
the nominees: Carmella, Shinsuke, Bianca, Seth, Sasha, Charlotte, New Day.
Shinsuke, okay.
I know, right? It's the leather pants.
At that point, just nominate Shinsuke every year. I mean,
nominate Shinsuke for everything. Put him on TV more. Cowards. But I digress. Male Superstar of the Year. Male Superstar of the Year. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre won according to them. Do you agree?
Yes. He had a career year. He won the Royal Rumble. He won the main event of WrestleMania. He won the WWE Championship twice. Now, Roman would be a close second. And I think COVID did two things for Roman Reigns. One, it kept him off of TV for part of the year, which was good because we don't want Roman to catch anything.
Yes.
On the flip side of that, it also gave him a gimmick change that changed his career.
Yes.
So for me, 2020 was a year of change for Roman Reigns in a great way.
Mm-hmm.
But Drew McIntyre is the superstar of the year, or is the male superstar of the year.
Drew McIntyre without the fans there, has had 2 WWE Championship reigns, and he looks great while he's doing it. Drew McIntyre is becoming the person they wanted him to be 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think that now, but Drew McIntyre is that top face, that big meat face, you know? Like, and I really like Drew McIntyre. As a guy who was really sour on him when he first showed back up again on the main roster, I'm like, meh. But now I'm fully on board. I'm so on board. I do want to give some love to Roman Reigns, though. If the last quarter of the year was the whole year of Roman,
Roman would be by far the superstar of the year. So you're saying Drew as well.
Yes, I agree with the Drew McIntyre take. It makes sense.
Having a career year as well, but it's just like,
yes, Randy Orton somehow reinvented himself.
I would put Orton second over Reigns just because of, again, the longevity of the year.
Yeah.
Orton had a career year. Orton's having like a LeBron James last year, like a career year at 37. I mean at 35 for LeBron. Like Orton's having a career year at what, like 39,
pushing 40, dude. Yeah.
So like it's unbelievable, and he did win the WWE Championship. I mean, if this was, well, we're leaving Strowman off of this. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
Strowman won the WWE Championship, and though it was deserved, it was just kind of a placeholder champion.
Yeah,
unfortunately. The Fiend debuted this year, which I don't think that he did.
No, he debuted last SummerSlam.
Yeah. So if the Fiend debuted this year, I'd make a stronger case for the Fiend. I think Fiend's your superstar of the year next year, honestly.
Ooh, calling it now.
Yeah, I'm going to call my shot and say that he probably is superstar of the year next year.
Word.
Unless they keep Roman on this tear.
Here. Oh yeah, quick thing before we continue, because I want to take it down for a second. We can totally keep this in. We're totally keeping this in. Just for continuity's sake, ba-bang and a ba-bang. The why.
Did I not?
Just we don't confuse the viewer.
Oh my god.
But that's how irrelevant the Slammys are.
Yeah. I pluralized the Slammys, I think, is what I did. So
no, you're fine. Don't even trip.
Sorry, world. I am so sorry.
Female superstar of the year, because we both came to the conclusion it's Drew McIntyre. But now I think we're gonna have more so of a conversation with this one.
We're gonna feel very, 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 very differently about this.
The nominees were Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, The Mandalorian, Sasha Banks, and Asuka. The winner was Sasha Banks. And you think, I want to know what you think of who I think is worthy of female superstar of the year. Who do you? Because you were like, you had a feeling that I was going to lean a certain way.
I think that we both think it's Bayley.
Or
do you think it's Asuka?
I think it's Asuka.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's Bayley, personally. I think Sasha's championship win and that she finally defended the championship came too late in the year for me. Though I think that both of those two were doing career stuff. I think Bayley dominated this year. And that might lead to my superstar of the year thing being a bit different later on.
Okay.
I think Bayley dominated this year. I think that this was the best year of Bayley's career.
Yes.
I think that Bayley was the top heel of the company this year.
Oh.
I think that Bayley reinvented herself this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bayley took the women's tag team championships, and though Asuka's trying to do it now, woo!
See how that goes.
They brought Sasha and Bayley brought the tag team championships to prominence. They had redacted. And they, because you know what I'm gonna say is what they had. They had something that we'll probably be talking about later. It was the year of Bayley and Sasha, but Bayley, they had the feud of the year. But like,
I'm like, what?
They kicked. Bayley, man, it was the year of Bayley for me.
As much as I agree with everything you said, actually, I agree with maybe 95% of the things you said. Heel of the year, sheesh. I think Randy Orton puts up a tough ass case. If we're thinking both men and women under the same category, Randy puts up one hard of a case to go against. Mm-hmm. But I totally understand in regards to women. Bayley had a kick-ass year. Bayley had a great year.
Actually, it was Lacey Evans.
Yeah, apparently. But Bayley had a great year. Bayley saved her career. Last October when she became the new Bayley, it's like it was some crazy stuff, and we really got to see that really fleshed out this year. Mm-hmm. And the whole stuff with Sasha, Bayley just became her own person. She wasn't the because she was the bottom tier of the Four Horsewomen for a while.
Yeah,
because Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte were doing great things. And Bayley was just there, the hugger, yeah. Role model, yeah. But now she's a role model in the best way. But with that being said, when the pandemic first hit, wrestling was weird as fuck. Like it was weird, and that was my one. It was weird. It was so weird to watch. And I will credit two people with saving Raw the way it was. Because Raw, let's be real, is the B show. But two people saved it, especially once the pandemic first turned everything over to the PC. Randy Orton and Asuka. Asuka saved Raw's women's division. Saved it.
Yeah.
Like Asuka, she was doing things that, like, for someone who doesn't speak English too much in her promos, they gave her the mic a lot. And it was entertaining every single time. Like, Asuka had both belts at some point or another, still has the Raw Women's Championship because she's that damn good. And I know the competition isn't too stiff on Raw compared to SmackDown, but Asuka to me, like, Asuka is one of the most entertaining parts of WWE. Okay. And so is Bayley.
Superstar of the year conversation is going to be real interesting.
But at the end of the day, like, Sasha or Bayley, it's a coin flip. Except for today, for me.
Okay.
And it's Asuka. If you'd asked me this question a few hours ago, I probably would have been like, eesh, like, oh, Bayley or Asuka. But the more I've had time to think about it, I think I'm gonna go with Asuka, truly. And then I love Sasha. I mean, you love seeing Mercedes Bernardo in the credits of The Mandalorian, but we can't include Mando in this because it's not wrestling. But Asuka. But if it's Bayley, if they would have given this to Bayley, I'd be like, all right, like, I'm cool with that. And I agree with the majority of what you said. Because Bayley's had a kick-ass year, but also I think Asuka damn near saved WWE programming for a while before everyone else found their rhythm. But let's go to breakout star of the year.
Ooh, this one's interesting.
Murphy, the Street Profits as a tandem, Otis, Bianca Belair, and Dominic Mysterio. The winner, according to WWE, was the Street Profits.
Okay. I'll let you go first because I went first last time because this is an interesting one.
Now, how do we want to look at this? Do we want to look at it as a person who got a lot of love as a character and they got a lot of time on screen, or are we going to look at who did the most of what they had? Because
I think the argument goes both ways.
And that means I have two different answers. Because if we're doing the person who went from doing jack shit, nothing, person who's doing nothing, then we're going to go with Murphy. To me. Because he was slingshotted into a main event program. Granted, it's Seth Rollins' program with Rey Mysterio, but he played a huge part this year. Getting to work with Seth and Rey Mysterio must have been nuts. And my man was doing jack shit. He was doing nothing, right? And he did this, and I'm basing off that one program because it's still going on to a degree. But Murphy, if we're going off of who's doing this to that, I'm going with Murphy. But the person who did the most of what they got's Otis.
Oh, it's Otis. It's Otis. It's like the Street Profits existed before NXT. Like, I understand that these aren't the NXT awards or anything like that. But, like, come on. We all knew who the Street Profits were when they entered the scene. They're not the breakout superstars of the year because they already were established. Otis was not established at all.
Heavy Machinery got called up way too soon.
They did. They were a part of the Ridiculous Six that Brian Zane, our boy, was just talking about.
Come on the show, Brian.
But my goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. That was a new one. Otis is freaking. Listen, we were joking about Otis earlier, but Otis should honestly be in the male superstar of the year consideration. Seriously.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'd take him out. I'd take Strowman out and put Otis there.
Yeah. And that's from a person who doesn't necessarily love what they were doing. But that is coming from a person who thought Otis kicked some serious ass this year. The guy was elevated. He took what was probably, he took a gimmick that was given to superstars like, I'll use Festus as my damn example. He took a gimmick that was given to Festus, to Santino Marella, and made it into something that was different than those types of feuds. Because remember, Festus was going around with Maria for the longest time, and I don't know if it was that her character was supposed to be too dumb to realize because they booked her terribly back in the day, when she was much better than she was. But Otis and Mandy Rose, honestly. I would say Mandy Rose is breakout of the year. Sonya Deville is breakout of the year.
Oh, man. Where the hell's Sonya? Damn.
Or Sonya Deville, if she was not dealing with this terrible personal life things that she was going through, I honestly would say she was the breakout superstar.
Stop being weird to wrestlers. Not you if you don't do it, but you know who I'm talking about.
I know.
Not you, Nick.
You don't know how weird I get.
Whoa. Don't.
I'm kidding.
Nick Molbach's views on wrestlers do not reflect the views of Wrestle Real as a program. But yeah, not you, Nick, but you.
Yes.
Like, if you've thought about it, don't do it. If you have done it, stop doing it.
And it's like Sonya Deville was on her way to having like career moment. And Mandy Rose as well. They stalled her out though, I will admit, by pairing her with Dana Brooke because that went nowhere. I wanted them to win the championships. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like that pairing isn't really going anywhere right now. And I thought that Mandy was going to become women's champion, quite frankly. But yeah, Otis breakout superstar of the year. Otis breakout superstar of the year.
I also want to show love to Dominic Mysterio. Talking about literally having like no wrestling experience as a, like I shouldn't say that, but having little wrestle experience before 2020 and being thrown into a platform like that. Like, you did some impressive stuff, Dominic, 1,000%. Like, I will definitely keep watching your stuff. You made a fan out of me, homie. Sure. Bianca Belair, I almost said her solely based off Survivor Series if she won.
Yeah.
If she won the damn thing, I would have said Bianca just off.
She's going to be like the women's superstar of the year
next year.
At some point. Yeah. Like, so I wasn't as worried about giving her that award as I was like, listen, I don't like the idea. It's not that I don't like the idea of Otis. It's just that, like, I don't really think that I need to. And like, he proved me wrong.
What? Actually, I'm gonna make a bold statement. Actually, I'll save it for my high spot.
All right.
I will reserve my. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. I will reserve my judgment on this until we get there. But moving on, Superstar of the Year. But I would agree with you on Otis. I can agree with you on Otis.
Superstar of the Year. You mean Tag Team of the Year?
What I say?
You said Superstar of the Year.
No, I said Breakout Star of the Year.
Oh, Breakout Star. Okay.
Yeah, that was Otis. I can agree with you on Otis, 1,000%. We did return Tag Team of the Year. Now, again, the nominees: Nakamura and Cesaro. The New Day. Yeah, love the New Day over here. Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler. The Street Profits. And then the Golden Role Models. How the F did they not win this, mother trucker? How on earth?
And the second team should be the Street Profits. And the third team should be the Kabuki Warriors, who are not even on there.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. It's a crime they're not even here.
Golden Role Models had a hell of a year. They elevated a tag team championships that is finally only at this point, like 2 weeks before the year ends, is finally being elevated a second time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I forget the idea. I mean, I don't think that the Street Profits winning it is a bad thing, because they had a great year.
They had an incredible year.
But the Golden Role Models elevated a tag team championship in the women's tag team division that deserved it. And I don't know if they're just trying to make it seem like Kairi Sane didn't exist because she's not with the company anymore, or it just doesn't make any sense.
The Kabuki Warriors should.
But the Kabuki Warriors had a year.
Wow. They should have been there.
Another elevation of those titles that need to be elevated. So
I would take out Jackson Baszler,
put
them in. Nakamura, Cesaro, man, that's so much potential just to drop the damn ball. I'm halfway up. I mean, NXT has their own stuff, but one day I hope to see these awards integrated with the NXT stuff. But Street Profits, I totally get why they won, 1,000%. Golden Role Models should have won.
Yes.
And I know this is not the last time we'll talk about Bayley and Sasha Banks on this Wrestle Reel. But moving on to Rivalry of the Year. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. The nominees are Seth Rollins versus the Mysterios. No. McIntyre versus Orton.
Okay.
All right. Edge versus Orton. Really pretty good. Pretty good. Not over yet. Still pretty good. Pretty good though. Still pretty good. Sasha Banks and Bayley. R-Truth versus the World. That's what it says on here.
These last two.
And Lana versus I'm sorry. Lana versus Lana versus
the
announcer tables. I get it, but these last two, come on now. Come the F on. The winner was Edge versus Orton. I totally get it. Totally get it. Randy had to murder Edge on a Raw after the Rumble, and we're all like, oh! Like, granted, we kind of knew, but Randy overdid it. Like, the chair shot is like, oh! Like, this man just had his neck all screwed up for the last decade, and this is what you're gonna do to my man the second he comes back? Jesus. And then the matches were really good.
Yeah.
Even though they went a little too long both times. But it is what it is. But I think we agree on who the real rivalry of the year is. Rollins versus the Mysterios. I'm kidding. It's Sasha and freaking Bayley. Come on now. Sasha.
I was about to be like,
wrap it up. We're done. No, but Sasha and Bayley, two of the brighter stars of this whole year. If it's not Randy to me, if it's not Asuka to me, if it's not Drew McIntyre, I'm going to say Sasha and Bayley as a tandem, not even just like individually, as a tandem, because they're synonymous. They will forever be synonymous with each other. To me, their feuds are stronger. Their feud's stronger than a Becky-Charlotte feud. Yeah, I said it. But that's because their real-life friendship really kayfabe's really blurring the lines between the two of these. Mm-hmm. And Sasha and Bayley utilized that to the nth degree. And if this is all in front of a crowd, holy shit, they would have eaten this shit up.
Yep.
Sasha Bayley should be rivalry of the year. I know you want to give some love to Edge because that Edge return was freaking nuts. And Orton was one of the better workers of this year, regardless of what people think of his character or his in-ring work or when he won the belt, whatever the hell.
But Randy was conclusion to it. That was the thing.
Yeah.
It sucks that Edge got hurt again. It's not entirely surprising. I think that it's going to happen again probably if he comes back. Hopefully not for as long. But, Edge is going to be one of those superstars who's going to wrestle for a bit and probably need some time off afterwards, which is fine.
He'll be part-time, for sure. He won't be full-time out here doing coming up on Raw every week.
If we got a proper conclusion to that feud, I would have probably been like, oh, yeah, okay. That said, Sasha Bayley, I agree.
Sasha Bayley. Now, I beg the question to you, Nick.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Did you have something?
No, I said match of the year accidentally. Go on.
Oh, I mean, I was going to ask, you want to do Superstar of the Year first or Match of the Year first?
I think match of the year is going to be more controversial.
Okay. You want to do Superstar?
Sure, we'll do Superstar.
Let's do Superstar. So the nominees are essentially an amalgamation of the female and male nominees. So just to run them down: Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Sasha, Asuka, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre. And Drew won, according to WWE. But to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, really? We're going to agree on this? I thought we were going to have more of a discussion on this.
Well, I was thinking Bayley for a bit, but I don't know.
It's hard for me to, and oh God, Drew's just had a bigger year.
Yeah.
Talk about breaking out. Drew McIntyre went from Dolph Ziggler's Kevin Nash, I was going to say Steve Nash, Kevin Nash to...
At this point, he's the Steve Nash as well. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the Steve Nash to Shawn Michaels as Dirk Nowitzki, you know what I mean? But no, it's McIntyre. He's the takeaway from 2020. When we look back at this year, this COVID-stricken year that we all hate because it's so stupid, we will look back at Drew McIntyre and he's the brightest spot of this year.
He is.
Truly.
There's no denying it.
Going from winning the Rumble, going to WrestleMania, beating Brock Lesnar the way he did in a kick-ass culmination to his show, that he deserved to be in front of a crowd. And I really hope that either A, he's still champ when the crowds are back, or B, he gets another big moment when crowds are back because he deserves it. Yeah. Drew McIntyre had a great year, great feuds. I shouldn't say great feuds, decent feuds to hold his own throughout the summer. The Randy Orton stuff. It was great to start, and then it really trailed off. But it's done now, and now he's facing off against top talent like AJ Styles and The Miz. I'm cool with that. He's going to end the year strong. He's going to end the year off. He just retained the belt in TLC. Going into the Royal Rumble, he'll probably wrestle, I don't know, freaking AJ Styles again. We'll see. Someone who doesn't need to win the Rumble. How about that?
Yes.
And AJ Styles. So the year that Drew McIntyre had from start to finish, it's almost untouchable. Mm-hmm. And without a crowd for 3/4 of the year, I got to give another notch to Drew McIntyre.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. I completely agree. There's no point in giving it to anybody else, in my opinion. He had just one of the best years I've ever seen. It's
truly
denying it. It's just I would say Bayley was a close second for me, but again, that's because I'm a Bayley stan.
I respect that. Bayley and Asuka, that's my 2 and 3, really.
But it's like I can't not give it to Drew. I agree. Mm-hmm. Drew McIntyre was the superstar of the year,
and he's gonna start white hot again in 2021, and we'll see where my man goes from that point forward. But now match of the year. This is interesting. The nominees were Becky versus Asuka, the Royal Rumble 2020. McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, Survivor Series 2020. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy, Intercontinental Triple Threat Ladder match, or Clash of Champions. Excuse me. Banks and Bayley, Women's Hell in a Cell match, Hell in a Cell 2020. Reigns Uso, the I Quit match for the Blue Universal Championship, Hell in a Cell. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, the Intercontinental Tournament Finals from SmackDown June 12th of this year. The Men's Royal Rumble match in its entirety. Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever, Backlash.
Sure.
The New Day versus the Hurt Business, Raw Tag Team Championship match from Raw, November 16th, so the first one, I believe. The first time they wrestled each other for the belts. And then Undertaker versus AJ Styles, the Boneyard match from WrestleMania 36.
All right, Chris, why is it the Boneyard match?
Okay. Now, for those who watch Wrestle Reel and who just watched our breakdown of the Undertaker bracket, you know how much I love this match. I love it. It's so good. But was it the best thing at WrestleMania, though? That's my one thing hindering it. That's a thought that I have in my brain. There's some better matches.
Because I am.
Oh?
No. I'm saying it like, was that your better WrestleMania match?
Oh, yes. I enjoyed watching that more than Taker Styles, but that's like 1A and 1B, dude. Mm-hmm. And if you ask me again tomorrow, I'll say, Taker Styles, what the fuck? Like, but these matches are actually all really good. Like, let me say that off the bat. Like, Becky Asuka was a takeaway from the Rumble from earlier this year. McIntyre Reigns ruled.
That's my second place.
And they made McIntyre look good AF in a loss because Jay Uso had to get involved. That triple threat ladder match was a great way to kick off Clash of Champions.
That was my third.
Banks Bayley, holy hell balls. That match ruled at Hell in a Cell. Uso Reigns. Ooh boy, this would be toughy for me. Brian Danielson. Brian and Styles from SmackDown. That match again on freaking cable. Men's Royal Rumble. Hell no. Hell no. Edge Orton. It was the greatest wrestling match probably of that night. And New Day Hurt Business. That match was also really good, but they did it again the next week, and to me it hindered the first one. And they didn't give Hurt Business the belts then, which they should have. And then Taker Styles, I love that match to death. Now, I'm curious, is your winner Taker Styles?
It's not.
Oh?
It's a personal pick.
Oh, okay.
It's more a personal pick than whether it was the greatest match of all time. Or greatest match of the year. But when you put AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan against each other on free TV, man, oh my gosh, they're wrestling circles around each other.
It's a barn burner. It's on SmackDown, bro.
If we're talking wrestling, pure wrestling, that was one of the best matches I've ever seen. It's two wrestlers that I love. It's two wrestlers that are my favorites of all time. AJ Styles is my favorite of all time. You pinning an Intercontinental Championship on him. Joseph Parks came back the next week.
Freaking Abyss.
Man. I will say that the other Intercontinental Championship match maybe is actually second for me.
Oh, that ladder match.
Threat. I thought that ladder match was excellent. You remember I was just raving about it when we were doing our semi-review of the show. You and
the rest of wrestling Twitter were losing their damn mind watching that.
But, as well, it's like you got to, sometimes with these matches of the year, you got to just think about, and I'm not trying to be cheesy here. Sometimes with these, like, I remember loving the Royal Rumble match that I don't remember who won it, but I was with a crowd of people watching it.
What year?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I remember I pulled Finn Balor for a money thing and I lost. But
okay.
he was in the Final Four. But
Oh God!
Nakamura. It was the year Nakamura.
It was Nakamura one, yeah, because it was him and Nakamura, and was it Orton and Cena?
Yes.
Or Reigns and Cena. It was Reigns and Cena.
Yeah.
That was a good rumble. That was a good one. 2018.
Yes,
it was a good one.
I take a lot more from the moments that I experience watching these matches. I'm watching AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, going, these are my favorite wrestlers in a match with each other. I'm going AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy going, this is just a great match. But I'm sitting there watching Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre with one of my best friends. Loving that match because I got to watch that with you. So it's the moments. I got to enjoy a wrestling match with my friend when I was watching it with you. So that's why it's important to me. I got to watch some of my favorite wrestlers of all time fight each other. Mm-hmm. That's why it's my favorite match of the year. It's probably not for the reason that it was this spectacle. I'm surprised that the New Day versus the Hurt Business was on the list. I'm glad it was. But it's really good. The Royal Rumble match, though, Drew won and Edge came back. A lot of it was just Brock Lesnar throwing a bunch of people over.
I hated it.
And the only spot from that I loved was the Shelton Benjamin one. So it was just, MVP coming back was ruined because of that moment.
I hate it.
It was just like I said,
I hate the first half.
I enjoyed though McIntyre and Reigns was a great match. I just enjoyed it because I watched it with you. I enjoyed Sammy versus AJ. I enjoyed Daniel Bryan versus AJ because it was just a barn burner and it was just a great wrestling match.
This one's hard for me. So I can knock a couple of these off. New Day Hurt Business, as much as I thought that match was really, really good, it's not, to me, match of the year. Mm-hmm. So no. The greatest match ever was the greatest match of that night. No. The Rumble match, I hate the first half. Mm-hmm. No. Asuka Becky. It happened earlier this year, and I think there's definitely been better stuff since. So I'll knock that out as well. Now we get to the nitty gritty.
Just say it.
Oh God!
Brother.
No, I can't.
Sorry,
bro. Oh, you're going to your brother.
I thought you were gonna drop a brother in there.
I've been saying that too much lately, dude.
I know.
I'm gonna drop. Oh my God! I'm gonna drop Styles, Zayn, Hardy. I'm gonna drop. Oh my God! So I'm trying to think. I'm taking a different approach than you because if that's how we're gonna do it, like favorite wrestlers, then I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
And just for the sake of Wrestle Real, I'm gonna try and think of something different. Actually, I'm gonna do it. I've been fighting with myself this whole time. I'm gonna do it. I low key think the match of the year. As much as I want to say Taker AJ, I would have never thought I would say this man's name in my favorite match and the best match of the year.
Okay,
Roman Reigns and Jay Uso at the best match of 2020.
Yeah, I slept on it.
That match was spectacular. Two men who I would have thought like a singles match with them, I would have been so disgusted at that thought 6 months ago. And then Roman comes back and he's like the shit. I'm like, oh. And then Jay's like, come on, bro. Come on, Us. And I'm like, oh. And then they start fighting each other. I'm like, oh. And Roman's killing his cousin every week. Oh. Then that Hell in a Cell match. They made Jay Uso look like $1 million.
Yeah, they did. There's no denying that.
Jay Uso's been off TVs ever since Jimmy tore his ACL at WrestleMania. And then Roman becomes the shit. And then Jay's like, come on, Us. And then that match, that I Quit match for the Blue Universal Championship, there's no way they were going to give the belt to Jay Uso. Right? But wasn't it fun to think of it? Like,
yeah.
just the thought of Roman losing to Jey Uso was invigorating to me. And what the hell they were doing, bro? Roman's out here like berating his cousin, like, stop. Do it for our family. The story was incredible. The stories what drove me to it. Like, to me, my top 3, I Quit match, Boneyard, Women's Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Like, I think those are the best 3 matches of the year. Styles Bryan comes as a close 4. I do believe that Roman Reigns and Jey Uso had the best match of the year. They've arguably, if they came to a conclusion, they would have had feud of the year. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns are given the best work of their careers right now, and it started for me here. Like my new affinity for Roman Reigns, and I already like Jey Uso. I love the Usos.
Yeah.
But Jay was off TV for so long, and I'm like, Jay, a singles push? And they're like, hey, Chris, you see this crow? Eat it. And I'm like, word. I started to eat the damn thing, dude. I'm like, oh, my God. And I remember watching that match. It was after the show, after Hell in a Cell, and I'm like, you know what? I'll watch Roman Jay. And holy hell! That should have been evented.
Yeah.
Like, it should have main event. I believe it went first, if I'm not mistaken.
It did, yeah.
And it set the bar for the rest of the show that only, to me, Sasha and Bayley could even touch. Yeah. They couldn't get a grasp on it, but
we watched the WWE Championship match together, and it was not as good.
And I wish we watched this one instead of that one.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm going to say Uso and Reigns. I'm going to commit to that. Taker, Styles close second. Sasha Bayley third, Styles Bryan fourth, and that's hard. That's hard as hell because all those matches are great for other reasons. Roman and McIntyre, fudge Ripple again, dude. Like
still using that phrase, just an FYI.
There's some great matches on this. There's some great matches this year, all with no fans.
Yeah,
the fans are screens in the background,
and that's where I set the bar. Can you give me a compelling match with no fans?
And a lot of
because
these are
the Royal Rumble match tried to give me a compelling match with fans, and I still wasn't as compelled. And it wasn't because McIntyre won. That just added to his career year. It was the beginning, just like you said. But
yeah, the first half I was like, come on, nah. But yeah.
So that was our Slammys. We agreed, we disagreed, we agreed with WWE, we disagreed with WWE. That said, I believe that you said that you had a high spot.
Yes, I did. Let's do a high spot of the week. Your boy, Chris Anthony Lopez, had a thought while we were talking about Breakout Star of the Year. We were talking about Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is someone who had a great run NXT. Spectacular run NXT. And then they put her on SmackDown in the draft. I'm like, okay. SmackDown's women's division is exponentially it's elevated because Bianca's just there. And she is a great wrestler, great promo. She's a great promo. And I love that she's not with the Street Profits. They're not doing that. I love that. At least not yet. We'll see how that goes. But where their storylines are going, or one more so lack thereof, a match that should be at WrestleMania that I think would break down probably more barriers than the triple threat Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey had is having two black women be a main event of your show.
Yeah. Sasha
Banks, Bianca Belair, SmackDown Women's Championship. WWE, stop being fucking cowards. Do the damn thing. And it's not like you're going to get a bad match. These women don't have bad matches. It's really hard for Sasha to have a bad match with somebody. Mm-hmm. Even she had a great match with Charlotte. Or I shouldn't say great. A good match with Charlotte, or not Charlotte, Carmella. Carmella's known to be an worker, you know? But now You're in this prime spot. You're having Sasha kill time with Carmella. Have Bianca Belair win the goddamn Rumble.
Oh, I think she is.
As she should.
I will lock that pick in now.
I'm also going to lock that pick in. And I know we'll probably talk about. I know we're going to talk about the Rumble as the weeks progress and as the Rumble gets closer. We may do. I think we should do a little watch along ski for the Rumble, but I get ahead of myself. Bianca should win the Rumble. Don't have her announce her pick immediately. Have her scope out both shows. Whoever the hell's the champ, whether it's Asuka, Sasha, Charlotte,
it's gonna
whoever.
Be Charlotte.
Inevitably, right? But she should pick Sasha, 1,000%, and that's your main event to WrestleMania. If you do the goddamn story right, it damn near could be. Like this match should be, and it will be incredible if it happens when it happens. Because it's a matter of time. You keep these women apart. Yeah, I wouldn't even have them wrestle each other until WrestleMania. Like, honestly, like if you want to get crazy with it, don't have Bianca and Sasha lock arms until WrestleMania. You build the shit out of this, and you have two black women. One of them just happens to be a Mandalorian, and you main event WrestleMania 37. Now, will they main event WrestleMania 37? No, they won't. Unfortunately, they won't. Because they're going to prioritize McIntyre with his WWE Championship. I mean, it's damn good. And Roman Reigns with his Blue Universal Champion. I get it. But Sasha, Bianca Belair, have they even interacted with each other on SmackDown? No, right? To my knowledge, no. And if it was in passing. I believe.
We'll talk after the show.
Anyways, what?
Did I miss something?
No, you didn't. Just.
Oh, but I think Bianca and Sasha. And like I said, I don't know if they wrestled each other already. If they have, all right. But if they haven't,
no, they have not.
They should not lock arms until WrestleMania. Book it. And I know right now it's what we're looking at. Have Carmella keep Sasha occupied till after the Rumble's done. And then you have Sasha do a little one-off pay-per-view rivalry with, I don't know, who's on SmackDown? Lacey Evans. No, she's on Raw. Billie Kay.
Trash Talker of the Year, Lacey Evans. Yep.
Trash Talker of the Year, Lacey Evans. And then you have Bianca make her presence known. Bianca could be the face. Mm-hmm. Or Sasha could be the face. They could both be heels. I don't even care. Mm-hmm. Do it. Just do the damn thing. Book it. Book it. Bianca, as far as Wrestle is concerned, you're winning the goddamn Rumble as you should.
That's right.
The men's one's still a little bit up in the air to me. But the women's one, to me, is a lock. And WWE, you'd be foolish to have Bianca not win the damn thing. I don't care if Ronda Rousey comes back. Bianca will eliminate her ass quick. I don't fucking care. That's my high spot for the week. Now, Nick, before the show ends, did we miss anything?
We didn't, but I really hope that you are enjoying SmackDown right now. That said, my name is Nick Bolbach. I am Merry Christmas, Anthony Lopez, and Happy Holidays. Truly, Merry Christmas, everybody, from all of us here. I hope everybody is listening to this, watching SmackDown, enjoying the results, and enjoying the holidays, because, this is a really tough time that we're living in right now, and we're very glad to have spent it with you. So, that said, my name is truly Mr. Santa Claus, Nick Bolbach.
And again, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I am Chris Anthony Lopez, and that's this week's Wrestle Reel, baby.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.